Hello. If you don't know me, my name is Katie. I'm not super active on Book Talk or BookTube or anything like that, so you really shouldn't know me. But here I am. I am about to take a bunch of books to Half Price Books, and I thought, what better way to send my books off than with a book unhaul? So the first book I'm unhauling is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I honestly didn't hate... No, I didn't hate this book. I liked it. It wasn't bad. Honestly, I read it like maybe a year and a half ago, so I don't remember a ton about it. But I remember it being like a pretty good love story. I didn't hate it, but I'm honestly probably not going to read it again. And also I probably wouldn't recommend it to anyone that I would like lend it to. So we're going bye-bye. We're making room on our shelves. And the next one is Lockdown on London Lane by Beth Riegels. I actually really liked this book for the time. I read it right after COVID, like right after lock-in. We were kind of like going back to normal, and it was like a really good, like fun, cute little rom-com kind of read for that time. But it's another one of those, I'm not gonna read it again. It was good for the time, but it's not gonna age well, and I wouldn't really recommend it to anyone else anymore because it's not gonna age well. The next book I'm unhauling is a good girl's guide to murder. I'm gonna be honest, I tried to read this book like 3 or 4 different times and I just really couldn't get into it. I know it's a lot of people's favorite book. It's recommended by a lot of people, but honestly I just didn't really enjoy the beginning. Like, it didn't really capture my attention, and I tried to read it like a few different times and I just really couldn't get into it. I had a friend that read it and said that it was like okay, but it wasn't fantastic. So it's been on my shelves for over a year now. It's time. I'm not gonna read it. It's time. So this is A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians by H.G. Perry. I put a good long try into reading this book. Like, I really tried. I got through about half of it, and honestly it was just really boring. The magic system was cool. I remember it being like really interesting, and I did like the politics, but the plot moved so slowly and it's so big. I feel like I got close to 300 pages in, 200 or 300 pages in, and I wasn't even halfway there, and I was like, this is just not happening. It's not happening. And it's been about a year since the last time I picked it up, and so it was just really time for me to put it down and come to terms with the fact that I am not going to read this book. I'm ready for the heat that I'm going to receive in the comments for this. Here's the story. I read the ACOTAR series all the way up to A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I liked it. I had a good time. I was entertained. Will never read it again. Will not be continuing to read the rest of the series. I read this book about like 6 months ago, 8 months ago maybe, and I was like, this ended on an okay note. I don't really care about Nesta, so I'm really not like super hyped on Silver Flames. The next one, like Frost and Starlight, my sister-in-law read it, and she said it's basically like a Hallmark film, but with the ACOTAR characters, and I really don't care enough, to be honest. And also, I only owned Wings and Ruin and Mist and Fury. I actually started ACOTAR by listening to A Court of Thorns and Roses on audio, and I kind of hated it. I did not enjoy it at all. I had a really hard time with like the writing, and I think I gave it like a 2.5 stars, like 2.5 stars, something like that. The only interesting part was like the last 150 pages maybe of A Court of Thorns and Roses. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not going to buy this book, like the physical version of this book, because I didn't like it. However, I really liked A Court of Mist and Fury. I thought that it was really good. I thought that the plot was really good. I cannot get over Sarah J. Maas's writing. Like, it doesn't jive with me. I don't really like it. And so I definitely will not be reading the series again. And in my head, if I'm not going to read it again and I don't own the whole series, like, why do I have it? So I will be unhauling both of those. To continue on with the trend, I'm currently reading Throne of Glass, the Throne of Glass series. I am about to start the tandem read. I'm buddy reading it with someone else, and I know that I'm just putting myself through this to say that I've done it and to be able to give like a good enough opinion about it, because I'm not really enjoying it. All of the books so far have been like a 2 or 3 star read for me. The first one, Throne of Glass, was a 2-star read for me. I read it in the order. I read Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and then Assassin's Blade. Throne of Glass was definitely a 2-star. I think I gave Crown of Midnight a 3-star. I think it was closer to like a 2.5, maybe a 3-star. Assassin's Blade picked up for me. I thought that was like a 3.5 star or so. And then from there, it just like wasn't getting any better. I got through Airfire. I got through Queen of Shadows. I think they were 3.5 star reads for me. A little more interesting. The plot was better. The writing was getting a little better, but like I can't get attached to these characters. Something about like the way that she writes her characters, I can't. I don't care. Because I thought I was going to do the tandem read, I was like, I'm going to buy all the physical copies of all these books, right? Because in order to do the tandem read and like switch back and forth from the books, like it makes sense to own the physical copy. But I found a version of the tandem read that is like an EPUB downloadable version that has them already like combined, and I found it for free and downloaded it on my Kindle. So I'm going to read that one on my Kindle. I'm going to find Kingdom of Ash either on my Kindle or I'm going to listen to it, I think. But I'm really just doing it at this point because I'm this far into the series and I want to just see it through, but I don't see myself really recommending it to anyone, lending them to anyone, definitely not reading them again. After all of that, I am unhauling all of the Throne of Glass books that I own currently because I will not be purchasing the rest of the series, and it doesn't really make sense for me to have four of the books on my shelf, not including Throne of Glass because I listened to that one. So I have Assassin's Blade, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, and Queen of Shadows, and that just doesn't really make sense to me to like keep all of these when I'm not going to spend $45 to finish, like to buy the rest of the books in the series. Like I'm just not going to do it. And so I will be taking these to half price books. I'm going to be taking all of these to half price books. Sorry. In hopes that I will maybe get a little bit back for them and hopefully buy some new books. So maybe a haul coming post unhaul, but those are all the books that I'm unhauling. This was really fun to make. Like I said, I don't have a big like presence, or I'm not very active like on TikTok or anything in the book world. This was fun to do, and I thought that my books, since they will be leaving my shelves, deserved a little bit of love before I send them away. So thank you for watching if you stuck around for this whole time, and bye.